hot off the press, 5 tips to get more social media followers for your nonprofit or social enterprise. Let's get started. What's up? I'm Zach. Welcome to the Mission Driven Impact YouTube channel, where we help social impact organizations raise awareness by clarifying their message, getting the word out, and building a loyal community of fans and supporters. Today, I want to dive straight into 5 tips for getting more social media followers, but keep watching to the end because I've got a really important bonus tip that's going to help you leverage your new followers into actually moving the bottom line of your business. Let's get going. Tip number 1 is to choose just one platform. If you choose more than one platform, you're going to spread yourself way too thin. And that's because social media requires a lot of time. Every platform has its own unique learning curve. New features are constantly being added, algorithms are changing, audiences are changing, and learning curve aside, you just have to spend a lot of time on social media to develop those relationships and build a community. So start by choosing one. If you're not sure which to choose, check out my last video. I'll leave a link in one of the corners up here to the social media platform that might be right for your business and your audience. Tip number 2 is to provide value. Now this one seems obvious, but if you peek around at most organizations' social media handles, they're mostly diaries for what's happening. I mean, maybe some news, maybe some events, just, you got to provide things that your audience is going to come back for. I think that there's 3 main ways to do this. One is with actionable tips and insights, educational content, how-to content. This doesn't have to be anything major. Just think, what's one thing that your audience might be kind of struggling with? What's one kind of minor inconvenience even in their life? And how can you use your social media channel to deliver that solution to them, to equip them with the information they need in order to live a better life, even if it's just in a little way? That stuff really adds up on social media. Secondly is, gold, especially for nonprofits, for donation-based organizations, is your impact stories. But you don't have to be a donation-based organization to have case studies, to have employee highlights. People love stories, whether that's the story of you and your team, the story of people that you've helped, just stories of people who your audience is interested in, who your business doesn't even have anything to do with. A good story will always keep people coming back for more. And the third thing is, don't forget to curate content. You're not the only person out there putting out good content, and it's wrong to think about the other people in your space as competitors. Feel free, when you see a great post, a great article, a great video, share that with your audience. Put the ego aside, put any sort of hesitation you have about boosting the competition aside. What you're doing is you're giving your audience something that they're going to find valuable, and that's only going to make you look good. Tip number 3 is to focus on engagement. Everyone wants to know how to get more followers. The better question to be asking is, how do you best engage the followers you already have? And that's because any platform, no matter what it is, platforms that aren't even out yet, right? Platforms are always going to reward users who keep their audience on the platform, who keep their audience coming back for more and engaging with all of the app's features, right? That's just sort of logical, right? And historically, that's literally what happens. So platforms will organically increase your reach, will show you to more and more people, will bring more people to you, the better you are at serving your existing audience. One other thing to remember is that on platforms like LinkedIn, by the way, you should definitely connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll leave a link down in the description. But on platforms like LinkedIn, your engagement is literally your distribution. If I write a post on LinkedIn and someone in my network likes it, it automatically gets shown to all the other people in their network. And it's not like Facebook where you have to specifically share it, or Instagram where you have to specifically send it or repost it or something like that. And LinkedIn's not the only platform like that. So remember that engagement is really what's going to drive your reach. We always say in marketing that follower count is a vanity metric, right? Follower count can definitely help a lot of things, but if you have 1 million followers and 0 of them take action, or 0 of them really feel like a part of your brand, you might as well not be on that platform at all. Tip number 4 is to play the game. Now, this is what I mean. Like I said earlier, every platform has their unique learning curve. Algorithms are changing, features are going in and out, audiences are changing. The way that it looks, the color scheme, everything. Social media is never the same. day to day, much less to say month to month, right? So social media is kind of a constant game. You got to keep up with it. You got to keep up with the rules. You got to learn what styles, what tactics, what strategies are really getting people ahead, and you got to make sure that you're participating in that too. Again, that's why it's important to only have one platform. But just as an example, right? When Instagram came out with stories, and then more recently Instagram Reels, right? Instagram started promoting the people who actually use these features. Same thing when Facebook kind of put out their own version of stories and Facebook Live and things like that. Facebook started rewarding accounts that use the live function more. So you got to keep up with the game. Again, it takes a lot of time. It takes a little bit of just energy. It doesn't have to take a lot of money, but make sure that you're keeping up with the game and playing it and crushing it. And tip number 5, just to kind of continue the last point a little bit, is to constantly find new ways to engage your audience. So don't think that when you post content, like if you build it, they will come, right? Sometimes that platform will do the heavy lifting for you. Sometimes you can direct people from your email list or from another platform. There are ways to do that, but you got to exercise your creativity a little bit and start to enjoy the challenge of finding new ways to put yourself in front of your audience, make yourself visible, and take up space. So a lot of things that people are doing these days, IG takeovers, collaborate with other influencers, brand a hashtag and create a hashtag campaign around it, encourage user-generated content. However you can identify where your audience is and figure out a way to get yourself there, even if it's not necessarily on just by posting from your own handle. Again, there are a million ways to do this, and it's something that you've constantly got to be thinking about. All right, my bonus tip to actually get these new social media followers to impact your bottom line is to keep the relationship moving, right? Again, like I said, you could have 1 million followers, but if none of them are taking action, what good is it doing you? You got to know what action is it that you want them to take. And of course, you might be thinking, oh, well, we want them to buy our product or sign up for a service or give a donation or something. But you got to think about the whole journey people go from first interacting with your brand, that's oftentimes going to be on social media, all the way until they actually make that last step. It's likely that there's a lot of little steps in between. You got to know each step and what to do at each step. An exercise I give my coaching clients is to trace the buyer's journey, right? And that just means, okay, when they meet you for the first time, where is that? Where online? What social media profile? Literally, what ad are they seeing? What does the copy say? What images are they seeing? What campaign is it? You want as much detail as possible. And then what's the very next step you want them to take? Do you want them to follow you on another platform? Do you want them to join your mailing list? Do you want them to bounce straight off to booking a call with you or purchasing your product? Every business is different, every audience is different, every offer is different, but you really, really need to know what each step of the process looks like and what your audience needs to do in order to keep moving at each step. Listen, social media is just one part of your overall marketing strategy. You got to be clear about where it fits in and what your customers, clients, and donors are doing at every step along the way, from the time they first encounter your brand to the time they actually take that final action you need them to take to impact the bottom line of your business. If seeing this whole strategy, creating a strategy, or just understanding how things fit together is something you need help with, I want you to book a call with me. I'll leave a link down in the description. I've got a 12-week one-on-one coaching program that takes impact-driven founders and directors from, if you don't even know what marketing is, all the way to building out a marketing system that is low cost, that is relatively hands-off once the flywheel gets turning, and that brings the right people to you. That way you can get on to doing all the other things you have to do, and I'm sure that's not sitting on social media. So if that sounds like something you could use, I'll leave a link down in the description. Book a call with me. It's totally free. You can't lose. And until then, I'll see you in the next one.